Just want to make sure that everybody out there in Zoom can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So we are going to we are starting. Thank you for joining us for our May ROSC Council. My name is Annette Villarreal, and I am your Kane County ROSC coordinator. And I am very happy to be here. And I am very happy to see people here in person, but also many people out in Zoom. I do want to give a shout out today in the room. For some reason, we are all women. And not only that, but I do want to make sure that I highlight that this is our very first Ross Council meeting without my better half, Jarrett Burton. And actually, our team is composed of all women. Oh, wow, more women are coming in. This is just yay. Wow. So, like you can see, our room is filling with more wonderful women, and it's just amazing the vibe in this room. So, we're just going to let everyone have a seat. And again, we're just going to welcome everyone. All right, everyone in Zoom and everyone here. So, to begin, May is Mental Health Month, and we know that substance misuse and mental health are deeply connected. So, I wanted to share two quick, powerful numbers that tell us why our work matters right now. So, the first thing I wanted to touch on was the prevalence. In 2024, 21.2 million adults in the United States had co-occurring conditions and substance misuse. Think about it. That is actually more, that's more than the entire population of Florida, to be factual. So these are our neighbors, they're our friends, and they're our community, right? So keep that in mind. And this source came from SAMHSA. Another source that came from SAMHSA is the gap, especially in treatment. So of those 21.2 million people, only 14.5 received integrated treatment for both conditions at the same time. More than 40% get mental health treatment only, not substance misuse treatment. Many people, they ignored, and many people get no services at all. So that is why we're here, everyone in Zoom and in person, right? And again, that is why we are at Mutual Ground, because they treat the whole person. So a quick icebreaker. I just want to make sure that we do a quick round of introductions. And when you introduce yourself, just because it is Mental Health Month, I just want to know what's everyone's go-to for a mental health break, right? So we'll start with you. You're right next to me. Here you go.
Hi, I am Tina Blakely. I am the prevention manager here at Mutual Ground. I'm so glad to see everybody here. My mental health break is definitely no-brainer TV, like just absolute no-brainer. So that's it.
Hi, I'm Tamara Johnson. I'm the substance use treatment manager here at Mutual Ground. I'd have to say that I like to paint. That's usually what I do when I get stressed. I like to do that, a little creative, and then I have something to show for it when I'm done. Thank you.
Hi there, I'm Tina Coral, Health Promotions Manager at the Kane County Health Department. And I would say definitely walking my dog is my mental health break.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Nunez, Violence Prevention Specialist at the Kane County Health Department. I would have to say taking a walk and listening to music. I'm Sharon Cabrera, the Substance Use Prevention Specialist at the Kane County Health Department, and I am torn between either, even though people might not think it's healthy, taking a nap or walking.
Hi, I'm Lily, also from the Kane County Health Department. I'm part of the tobacco and nicotine prevention and cessation team. And I'm gonna say for mine, it's doing a crossword, but I can only do the Mondays of the New York Times, the easiest day. So
I'm impressed you read the New York Times. Um, Michelle Meyer, I am the Assistant Director of Community Health at the Health Department. We're Health Department strong here. Mine is also walking the dog, but I walk my neighbor's dog now. So that's my thing.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alex Brower. I am working through DuPage ROSC Serenity House. I am a recovery coach. This is actually my second week here, so still learning everything. I think I like to either journal or listen to music. Mental health break.
Hey everyone, I'm Kelsey Chavez, and I am a project coordinator at AMPAC, and I am currently serving my term at Serenity House.
Hi, I'm Marcy Milberg. I'm with Northwestern Medicine, part of their Community Health Institute. And for a mental health break, I like to bake. And because I like to bake, then I like to exercise. Because after you bake, if you eat it all, you've got to work out, right?
And so, Sharon, actually, when you said sleeping, right? Actually, one of my mental respites, right, or a gift that I give myself is whenever I can, I gift myself the gift of sleep because we do. That's when we re-energize. That's how we renew ourselves. So it is very important for mental health, right, and for our wellness. So we're just going to go over the agenda very quickly. We already, did welcomes, a small little icebreaker. Let me be mindful. Do we have anyone in Zoom that wants to share? I see Jared's hand. I'm sorry, I had my back to you guys. Go ahead, Jared.
That's okay. Hi, everybody. Jared Burton. I am the DuPage ROSC coordinator, but I also help out with the Kane County ROSC. I'm so happy that the girls are out there getting it done today. Give them a round of applause again. They work so hard. But I want to give a shout out
Really
to
hard
the
that, man. Okay.
I want to give a shout out to the crossword, New York Times crossword. I used to do a mean Monday New York Times crossword. But yeah, after Mondays was tough. But yeah, so lately is a mental health break. When I was younger, I like to read comic books a lot. And then as I got older, I'm like, I kind of put that stuff away. But then now that I'm like grown up and I have time, I've been going back and buying like the books I couldn't when I was a kid. And it's been awesome. Really great mental health break, comic books. That's all I got.
Thank you, Jared. I see we have Mr. Ben Rudolph.
Hello, everybody.
Hola,
Ben
Ben.
Rudolph here. Hey, recovery-oriented systems of care, Region 2. That means you,
Yeah.
technical assistant, here to do everything I can to support ROSC in the region that I support. This includes strategic planning, any kind of deliverables, also making visits out there to wherever you are to help to support all the programs, all of the referrals, all of this stuff. And I want to share that for me, my mental health gets better when I get a chance to go downstairs and sit at my beloved piano and play the songs I like to play. Thank you very much for letting me share. Annette?
You're very welcome, Ben. Thank you for being in here and thank you for sharing. Do we have anyone else?
I can go.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
I'm Sarah Mendoza. I'm the Fatality Review Program Manager here at the King County Health Department. And I would say my mental health break is I like to work out, but I also like reading. So I like reading a lot of books. So I switch between my Kindle and actual books just to get that feel again.
I love that. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. We appreciate it. Do we have anyone else?
I'm happy to go next.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Jessica Mino with the Conservation Foundation. I am the Kane and Kendall County Program Director. And because of who I work for, it's probably not a surprise that I like to go outside and listen to the birds and watch the flowers for my mental health.
Yes,
But
yes.
I have had some mobility issues lately, so I've been getting into puzzling, the really cool hobby of puzzling to try to de-stress.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That does sound like lots of fun. It really does. Thank you for sharing, Jessica. Is there anyone else that we have out there? Andrea?
Yeah, hi. My name is Andrea, and I'm on AID's mobile crisis response team as a CRSS, person in long-term recovery, and I like doing short guided meditations.
Oh, yeah, I love those too. And we have Jessica here. You know that she's an expert on in those forests, bathing and those intentional walks. So, maybe look up that Nature RX program. I think you'll get a lot out of it. All right. Well, thank you for sharing so much. I appreciate everyone sharing their respite, right? Their wellness techniques. And I hope that everyone is intentional in using them, right? Because I mean, it's one thing that we know about them and that we have them, but it's another thing that we're intentional and we do use them when we need it the most. So again, I'm going to go very quickly over the agenda. It's posted out here for you to see on the screen. We went over the icebreaker, and now we are going to get into actually speaking to Mutual Ground. And before I begin, I do want to start with saying that Mutual Ground is a model of a whole person care. It has domestic violence services, emergency shelter, substance misuse treatment, mental health counseling that are all integrated. And I am so glad that we can learn directly from the people doing the work. So to begin, I'm going to start and I'm going to welcome Tammy Johnson, and I'm going to let her introduce herself. Go ahead, Tammy. I think, is the light on? Yeah, go ahead, Tammy.
Hey, hi everybody. Hi everybody out there. Hi everybody here. I'm Tammy Johnson. I'm the substance use treatment manager here at Mutual Ground. I'm just going to go over some of the things that we provide, the services that we provide in our substance use department. So if there's any questions, let me know. First thing we do, we have adult services, of course, outpatient and intensive outpatient. We do groups and individual counseling. We also have adolescent services, counseling designed to help teens identify, address, and take responsibility for their cycle of use. We offer anger management classes. We also help with co-occurring disorders. We offer integrated treatment and medication for substance use disorders and other mental health disorders. We work with a local psychiatrist that comes in twice a month and works with our clients for co-occurring disorders. We also provide mental health evaluations. We have a couple of therapists on our staff. We also do DUI services, including evaluations and treatment. We have a full-time outreach counselor at Hesed House who works out of Hesed House 40 hours a week, who helps with the unhoused population. We work with DCFS closely, Secretary of State, probation officers, parole officers, every type of referral we get all kinds of stuff. We are working with Iris too for referrals. I don't know if people are familiar with Iris. Yeah, we work with Iris. We do here, we don't really, we allow AA meetings here. They use our facility. So we help out in the community by having them use actually this room. They have AA meetings twice a week here. We do take Medicaid and most MCOs are accepted. We don't take private insurance. We just the Medicaid and MCOs. We also have a sliding fee scale for those who fulfill the income limits and what have you. We work with you. We don't turn anybody away for not having money. We'll make sure we work with you to get you the treatment that you need. And we also have our billing specialist that gives assistance to people who need to sign up for Medicaid. If you come in and say you don't have Medicaid and you qualify, we actually have somebody that will sit down with you and sign you up for Medicaid. Our operating hours here, we work Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Fridays from 9 to 3. So feel free to call or, swing by and if you need anything or, call me or we have Mutual Ground's website is www.mutualground.org. We have that's basically our services. Are there any questions
Does anybody have any questions for Tammy? Anyone on the Zoom? Jared Burton.
Yes. First of all, thank you for hosting this meeting. I'm so glad that y'all were able to get out to Mutual Ground in person. So I've said this before, and I know that you do like a wide range of services, but I found that like DV in general was kind of like one of my blind spots going into this field. And so I'm glad that we're able to learn more about it. Do you all service people like on both sides of DV? So let's obviously you have shelters and things like that. But if someone has to do like, let's say anger management or they're court ordered because of like a DV problem, are there classes or things that they can take through Mutual Ground as well?
Well, here to talk about DV more is Tina.
It's
'Cause
great.
I deal with this.
So yeah, if you just give us a few more seconds,
Oh, sure.
and then once I'm with
That is a good
Tina,
question.
we can go ahead and answer your question. But thank you, Jared. That
I'll
is a very
stash
good
that
question.
question then for later.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
Anything else?
So Tammy, if does anyone here in the room have any questions for Tammy? Let me ask you. You say, I heard that you said that Mutual Ground treats, just the whole person, not just the isolated systems, right? Symptoms. So how do you weave substance misuse, use counseling together with trauma-informed care, especially for those who have experienced trauma?
Well, we definitely use evidence-based practices to help people that have dealt with trauma. Again, like you said, we do service the whole person. We look at every aspect, not just the substance use, because substance use is usually just a symptom of something deeper. So we do delve into that a little bit more and work with the client, where it's coming from. Because if you don't deal with the roots, you're not going to get rid of the problem. So that's what we do. We are client centered, and we work with a lot. We're trauma informed, and we work with a lot of people with a lot of trauma. So that's definitely something that we address initially.
Thank you. Thank you. And on medication and mental health, your team works with a psychiatrist, you said, especially, and treats people with core current conditions, with medication, correct? So, in your experience, how does having, medical and mental health support in the same place change people's outcomes?
Like I said, about dealing with every aspect, because the co-occurring disorders, I mean, a majority of people that have an addiction problem have a co-occurring mental health issue, an underlying mental health issue. And sometimes it's like, is the chicken before the egg? Is the mental health causing the addiction, or is the addiction causing the mental health problem? So dealing with them at the same time sometimes helps alleviate some of that, where you don't know where it's coming from, if it's coming from this end or that end.
Thank you for answering that question. And you're very correct. It's kind of like the chicken, which one comes first, right? And as a person, I don't know if everyone knows, but I am a person with core, that had core occurring, misuse. But I definitely, see the benefits of being, having all those services in one, right? Instead of having to go to one place or another place, being able to have the same team, the same people in the same place, and that predictability really helps, it really does help with, those symptoms of, those trauma type of symptoms, right? So on trust and engagement, for a lot of people, reaching out to help is the hardest part. And how do you feel that your team builds trust with someone who might be skeptical, maybe after years of being let down, by other systems?
It starts with the phone call. We start with somebody calling in for help. We have a wonderful receptionist.
Yes, I can attest for
And
that.
they're very warm and welcoming, and that's a first point of contact. And we'll get somebody assessed, get an appointment and assessed. And I think the biggest thing that I've tried since I've been in this position, I've been in this position since last July, is making sure that our clients are well informed of the expectations. Because a lot of times they're like, they don't know what to expect or what's needed to be done. So if we're straightforward and say, okay, this is how this works, and so it alleviates some of that stress of the fear of the unknown. So if you can get that on the same page with the client, so they know oh, okay, this isn't so bad, because the unknown is kind of makes people hesitate to get help. So we try to make it very clear quickly on, so you're like, okay, we got you. You know, we're gonna walk you through this. We're gonna hold your hand through this, so that we make sure that the client from the first phone call all the way through the treatment process.
That's amazing. I'm like, where were you guys when I needed you? Know? But yes, you know, and again, as a person with those type of personal experiences, I mean, amazing. Just there's nothing else I can say, but just amazing services, right?
Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you, Tammy. I know that you're a very busy person, and I know you have some things to. Oh, sure, of course.
Yeah,
Let me
question.
go ahead and share microphone with you.
Do you guys have anything in place for people who want to quit smoking, vaping, those kinds of things, or?
No, we don't. We don't
Okay.
have a nicotine cessation. I know that was one thing that I kind of wanted to add, but it's just, I don't even know if insurance would cover it, or you know what I mean, things like that. So it's something that we don't.
I'll give you my card.
Yeah.
Because there are some things in place.
Okay.
That are,
All right, that'd be great.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Maybe we could add it to our, the last thing I wanted to talk about, we have our Walk of Hope coming up.
Oh.
That's on Saturday, May 30th. So it's not this weekend, but next weekend. It's from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. It's a walk and it's a fundraiser in all of our departments, and we have vendors set up. It's at Wabansie State Park, like I said, on the 30th. So if you want to come out, it's free. You can just come and support Mutual Ground, learn more about Mutual Ground, and there's all kinds of activities. It's family friendly, and hopefully it'll be a nice day, and y'all come out and see us, okay?
We will. We will. Thank you for sharing that event with us. We sure will. We'll show come. I'll show up. I'm like, I'll show up. I hope
You can go
everyone
to
out
the-
there too comes out and shows up.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Oh, you could go to the Mutual Ground website, mutualground.org, and learn more information about it if you have any questions.
All right. Thank you so much, Tammy. Is there anyone on Zoom that would like to ask Tammy any questions? All right, no takers. All right. Well, I do want to thank you, Tammy. I know that you might have to step out, but I want to make sure that I do thank you. I also want to congratulate you. I'm not gonna, I don't want to share more than I don't want to be able to. But if you want to go ahead and share your news,
No pressure.
no pressure. But we're all, we just want to celebrate you.
Yeah. What she's referring to is I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm driving down to New Orleans and I'm getting married.
Woo!
So next Wednesday I'll be married.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So congratulations, Tammy.
Yeah.
And safe travels to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So now we're going to speak with Tina, right? I don't know your last name, and I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Tina Blakely, and I also work here at Mutual Ground. And I'm going to help answer some of the questions I think Jared had. So, Mutual Ground does not just do substance use. We are a domestic and sexual violence agency. We have another campus which is located right off Oak and Lake Street. So, if you're ever around and drive by and see the big mansion, that is Mutual Ground's other campus. So our residential services work with individuals, any individuals who've experienced sexual or domestic violence. We have a 32-bed facility, and that's including cribs for littles. And we will take in anyone who has been a victim of domestic or sexual violence. They're there for safety while they're in residence. Our goal is always safety first and to provide them with the tools that they need to hopefully not return to a situation where them or their families are at harm. So we are treating the whole person and their families. Also part of our services we have a legal and medical team. And we have 2 offices in our Kane County Courthouse and our Kendall County Courthouse, which we will help victims of domestic and sexual violence navigate the legal system. Lots of orders of protection, just safety. That's the number one goal is safety. What Mutual Ground also does is we respond to hospital calls. The three hospitals, well, four now in our area are Delnor, Mercy, and then I'm forgetting Rush. I'm forgetting the one, Rush in Aurora and now Yorkville. So any victims, no matter age, however, that are at the hospital for sexual or domestic violence, we will send a advocate out there to help them with the trauma that they've just experienced. And sometimes it's just holding a hand, and sometimes it's taking them from beginning to the end of a rape kit, and then making sure that they know what services are available to them. And again, it doesn't matter how old you are. We are there at every call if the client requests it. Sometimes we're just sitting in the waiting room, just waiting, or maybe holding the hand of a mother. But that's one of my favorite things, not to do, but we train. So we offer a 60-hour training here. And our 60-hour training, and it's 60 hours because we are a dual agency. We are domestic and sexual violence. So it's a 60-hour training. And that training helps the direct service advocates who want to volunteer at Mutual Ground to become hospital advocates. And that training trains you to go out to hospital calls and work directly with victims of sexual violence. That's what's my favorite part, is training people to get them to understand the full picture and how it can be anyone at any time can be a victim of sexual or domestic violence. We offer counseling. We have an adult counseling and we have adolescent counseling, full service. We have individual counseling. We'll go out to meet the kids in school. They can come to the residence. We offer groups. We have a summer camp coming up in the summer. We run camp all summer long for anyone who is receiving services and the kids, 5 through 12 at Mutual Ground. Summer camp is awesome, awesome, awesome. So very cool to see all the kids come in. We have prevention services. That's what I oversee. We have sexual violence and domestic violence prevention, where we go into the schools to teach Aaron's Law. I'm very proud to say we are one of the biggest in Illinois. We see over 60,000 students through in this area. I think Cook County beats us just because it's Cook County and they're bigger. And then we also, we also have substance use prevention, which teaches the Too Good for Drugs programs in our local schools. We work in East Aurora, West Aurora, and Caneland. So that's just a big overview of Mutual Ground. I'm sure I've left many things out, but we really do try to get in the community and work with the other agencies. That's why I see so many familiar faces. But any questions? I think the question that we had is, I forgot the question.
That's okay. I have questions, but I have questions here. So I know you guys, I really have to, it's not an easy job, working within DV, shelter services. I mean, it's a lot. Just the shelter sheltering individuals on its own. That by itself, it's its own program. The DV, it's its own program. The counseling, everything, although it seems like it's all just one, it is all one thing, but they are, they do have separate things, and it's not easy. So I do want to focus a little bit more, like on I know that you guys are like the front line for this. So on trauma and substance misuse, when someone first arrives, many people come in scared, come in traumatized. They might be coming in under the influence of something. So how would you say, when someone doesn't share the full picture, how do you say, how do you help them, open up and open that picture and disclose that information?
How long is this meeting?
How long
do I get to talk about
I know
this?
we need the snippet part of it, but yes.
Everything that you just said is a great point. We talk about this as on a regular basis. When someone is coming in for services, whether they're substance use, domestic, or sexual violence, they're only going to tell you what they want to tell you. Okay. We can only trust that they're going to tell us and share what they need to. They're also just experienced a trauma. So they're at the height of their, the worst thing that could have happened to them. So a lot of it is initial just rapport and trust during an intake, and hoping that through the process they open up and let the residential team, who's amazing, provide the services. And again, it's the whole person. We offer all the services, and we know that many of the people who come into our shelter have experienced substance. They have substance use issues or substance use things that they're dealing with. So how do we handle that? There is no right or wrong answer. Unfortunately, we do have some, we cannot allow substance use because we have children and we're communal living. So does that mean if someone shows up in an intoxicated state, we are going to ask them to leave? Absolutely not. But we're going to work through them. We're going to work through it. We're going to make sure. But if someone is actively using a drug that is harmful that a child could get their hands on, unfortunately, that's going to be something. We're not going to discharge them to the streets. We're going to try to find a program, and we're going to try to find a way to help them. But because we are communal living, and we have children, and you have to watch out for safety. But we do try to give them grace.
No. And I think you said the key word, safety. I feel like people disclose once they start feeling safe, right?
Yes.
I mean, as a person, with, again, like I said, 4 current disorders, like it took me a long time to disclose, right? And it was until I felt like consistency, I felt safe, and that, and even when I felt safe, I felt safe enough only to share certain things. I wasn't sharing the whole picture. I don't think anyone got the whole picture. And especially DV victims. And I feel like sometimes some victims don't even disclose everything.
It's
like
their
a
coping.
surface.
It's definitely how it's a survival.
It is.
And so we don't want to ignore that.
Of course.
But it is also safety.
So on one of the barriers, maybe let's talk about capacity, right? Because I can only imagine capacity at a shelter, right? Sorry, Jared, go ahead.
Well, no, so I just had a quick question though.
Oh, sure.
Because I would think it'd be helpful to maybe like learn about a couple of the like types of DV. I think when people think of DV, they sometimes maybe only think of like maybe physical abuse or verbal abuse. But I remember when I was kind of first learning about DV, I mean, there was like types like financial and others that I really hadn't had to think about very much at all. So are there stuff like that that comes up that maybe is not traditionally thought of as DV, but that y'all have to deal with on a pretty regular basis?
Absolutely. First of all, I'm going to do a little plug. If anyone here would like a mutual ground presentation on DV and SV, we are always welcome to come out and talk in more detail of everything that was just said. But with that, I'll just give you a quick overview. Yes, I want to say it used to be physical, verbal, emotional, and sexual. Well, over the years, we've had to add financial, religious, and our big one right now is technology. The technology abuse in my world right now is surpassing a lot of other things, sexual abuse, and it can happen that power and control can be added also to digital and technology. I'm trying to think if I'm missing any of them, but no, religious, financial, and technology on top of emotional, physical, sexual, go along with that. So good question. And I will definitely, could talk for a long time about this, but I know we're limited.
Awesome. Thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions now that we're open for questions? No questions? So I have another question for you. Again, on the barriers of capacity, right? So you said you guys don't turn anyone away, correct? Or have you ever found yourself in a situation where the shelter's full and you guys have to maybe refer out or?
Well, let me just back up. Yes, we have had to say no, thank you, because they haven't fit. There's either something going on. At one point, there could be they could be an offender. There could be a criminal record that doesn't allow them to be in the shelter. There are times, yes, we are full. So we work with the hotline, the domestic violence and sexual violence hotline. So our goal is always to work with that network to find a place for anyone. So again, we never want to put someone on the street. We'll help find another location.
So, when you are you always at full capacity?
No, not always. Not always. I would
Okay.
say probably 90% of the time.
Oh,
I would say.
wow.
I mean, yeah.
So, what's the most pressing unmet need you see right now for residents who are maybe in your shelter that might be struggling with both their mental health and maybe a misuse of some type of substance?
Need for
Like just their
there's I mean, the barriers I think are barriers that we all see with clients. I think the amount, we're limited to how many people we could have work. You could always use more counselors, we would love to have more substance use counselors available for the clients that are in our residential. I think the barriers again are navigating a system and for us, housing is always going to be a bigger barrier. How do you leave a domestic violence situation? You have to find another place to live. And that is for our clients, I would say that's one of the biggest barriers. But in regards to seeking services, I think that our team does as best as they can to go all over and find places for people to receive the services. One of the questions somebody asked was about, do we offer, one thing I did forget to say is we are victim centered at Mutual Ground, which means we work with victims and survivors. We do not work with offenders. But that doesn't mean, there are agencies that work with offenders and it's the PAPE program. I know Safe Passages does, family counseling services, and maybe Elgin Community Crisis. Some of you might know Elgin Community Crisis will work with the offenders. Unfortunately, at Mutual Ground, we do not. We are victim-centered.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. So, to both of you ladies, I want to end our conversation on hope and big wins, right? Or even small and big wins, right? I'll ask both of you the same question, and you guys, you ladies can take turns in answering. On your hardest days, what do you think keeps you ladies going? And if you can, just share a win or a small win, a big win, whatever you like.
Well, I think for what we do, our wins are a little bit different. But for me, I work my area is primarily sexual assault and sexual violence, and definitely have seen a change in the last few years. I say every year there's probably not a sexual assault I haven't heard of or a situation. Well, this year I had 3 that I have never had to deal with. So for me, as awful as those situations are, they're also a win because that person, that little, came forward and talked. And we were there. They trusted us in the 45 minutes they have us in their school to come forward and talk to us. So wins like that are really important for me is as much as we can. They're horrible, but it's also a win. And we're seeing the same thing with technology. Cringe at technology, but technology is almost causing the disclosures to go up, whether the kids are seeing it on their TikTok or whatever, but it's almost empowering them because we've had more disclosures this year than we've had before. And that to me is a win because they're feeling comfortable and they're feeling trustworthy to come. And hopefully we can get it to stop. So
thank you so much, Tina. I appreciate it.
I'd have to say a big win. Basically, seeing a client, see how they progress through treatment when they come in and they're feeling very very down and isolated and sad and they've lost trust with their family, and you see them go through the journey of the change. And when you see a successful discharge and maybe even like a year later you run into them somewhere and they're like, you were my counselor and I'm doing great. And these are the rewards that we get. And also the reward also too with people who maybe not be successful the first time around, they come back around and then they're successful. So planting seeds and knowing that maybe someday it'll click. And just every day, just one foot in front of the other, helping any way you can, meeting the client where they're at, and not judging and making them feel safe. Again, we want to feel safe. The more safe you feel, the more you're going to open up. So when I see somebody starting to open up, you know, it's kind of a joke amongst the counselors. Like, if you make someone cry, you had a good session.
I love that. I love
So, because that means their feelings are coming out, and they're feeling that they can be vulnerable and really open up. So some of those things are what we strive for, and want to help people go through the process and see some success and changes in their life. So that's what we look forward to all the time.
Sure. Give me 1 second. Here you go, Michelle.
So Jared had asked if we provide or partner intervention program, and he had mentioned the fact that we do anger management. Can you guys explain the difference between the two? Because Mutual Ground does do anger management, but doesn't do partner abuse intervention programs. Can you explain that?
As well as I should. But I'm going to do my best to try. I am definitely not the domestic violence expert in regards to PAPE, but PAPE is really working with partner intervention. So both the survivor, both the offender and the victim would be in a room together. A PAPE program, and please, if you know more about PAPE, please say it is, I want to say, a 10-week program where it is working with the offender of domestic violence and the victim to stay together. And anger management, I don't know much about the anger management classes here. Do you? So I'm going to let Tammy say that, but the PAPE is really, and because we don't work with offenders directly, I apologize. I wish I had more statistics on the success of PAPE, and whether that cycle of violence continues in a PAPE, in a successful PAPE program. I don't have that, and I apologize. That would probably be more of our residential. I'm sorry.
No,
I don't have that
thank
answer.
You, thank you.
Our anger management program is a 10-week program. Sometimes it gets a little sticky if we get somebody that's an offender that comes to us. So we're very limited as to how many people we do refer them to a paid program, because I don't believe that we have the right resources for somebody in a paid program. We do offer anger management for somebody that may be court ordered because of an assault, you know, or probation, something like that. But we try to stay away from the offenders, because sometimes if we have the offender here and we get somebody from the shelter, then we're dealing with, you know, the offender being around the victim. So yeah, so we're real careful about that.
Yeah, thank you, Tammy. So, I think we had a question in the chat. Did we have a question in the chat? Does anyone else have any questions for these ladies? But I want to make sure I'm staying victim-centered. Oh.
So then I think for the PAPE, that I don't. Yeah, I mean, you might be able to jump in. I mean, I would definitely, I think I'm going to let Michelle talk a little bit more about this, but the PAPE would be for if the victim and the offender are willing to work together. Not really. I'm not going to talk anymore.
No worries.
I'm not.
We're not talking about like restorative practice.
Which is
It's a little different. The PAPE is 26 weeks long.
okay. See,
I was more like wanting to just about the difference between, some people think that anger management is the same thing as PAPE. And so
they think that's the cause of PD.
yeah, that's kind of more where I was going with that question. No, it's okay. That's what I was, because I think people forget that, anger management is not the same thing as domestic violence. No. It's very directed. in domestic violence, whereas anger management could be, you know, you get mad when somebody cuts in front of you with your car, or you're mad at your boss and you act out and stuff like that. So that was kind of more, I was just wondering if you, that's okay. No, that's okay.
We do know like domestic violence is about the power and control. Sometimes when I'm teaching, because I work with the kids, the adolescents, I talk about domestic power and control almost being very similar to a drug, because power and control is addictive. And once somebody has that power and control, they continuously want it. And it's very hard to break that cycle. Where you're right, anger management could be just, I'm really angry and I don't know how to control what outlets to use. They may never have had a domestic dispute in an anger management situation. It could be maybe they lost a job or they're turning to substance use or, punching a wall. Because of that anger, they don't know, they don't have the proper outlet. But domestic violence is not about anger management. It is about power and control and being able to take over a victim and use that power in many, many different ways physically. So I apologize again. I didn't know fully about the pay. Yeah.
Okay. So I want to thank you, ladies. If no one has any questions for them, I just want to say, again, thank you both. And we really enjoyed speaking with you and learning about the services that you treat the whole person with here at Mutual Ground. And we are honored to have you guys among us here in our, within our committee. Tammy always comes to our meetings. And so we feel very lucky that we have a partner, a partnership with you guys. And if no one else has any more questions for them, thank you so much.
Thank you. I do have to step out.
Of course.
What a great meeting.
Thank you
Love
so
the
much.
meeting.
Thank you so much. And it will be on YouTube. So if you want to catch the rest of it, just, view us. Thank you, ladies. And thank you for hosting us, Tammy, and thank you for having us. And congratulations to you next Wednesday. We'll be thinking about you. All right. Enjoy New Orleans. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. So now we are going to move on to a few updates, but we'll start with the ladies from Recovery Corps, and we'll talk a little bit about our van and some donations.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Nini Velasquez. I'm a project coordinator serving at Serenity House, and I'm working with Kane County and DuPage ROSC. So about the van, we have been collecting a lot of donations. We received a lot of things recently from the Glen Ellen Police Department, if I'm not mistaken. And so far, we have been collecting a lot of toiletries, deodorant, toothbrushes, soap, body wash, wipes. We are always in need of other things as well, such as um, body wipes for the unhoused, any toiletry items, men's pants, women's clothing as well. So we serve a lot of the community throughout DuPage and Kane County. So if anyone would like to help with our cause, then it would be great. So that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Nini, for the update. And
You're
again,
welcome.
we want to thank Nini for all the hard work she does on that van. And Kelsey, she's among us right here as well. And all the team, right? Because we have drivers and some team efforts. But thank you, ladies,
Absolutely.
and thank you guys all who are out there zooming in and listening. We appreciate you guys because without you, that van would not move.
Thank you all.
You're welcome. And so now we'll move on to talking about Sunday's van route. I just want to let everyone know that on Sundays we are taking out the van. It goes out 2 times a week with AID out in Aurora, out in Elgin. But on Sundays we are still going out from 1 to 2 on Sundays. We're out here kitty corner to Hesed House. That's very intentionally placed. The van is intentionally placed there at the Aurora Animal Shelter. The parking lot is right off the road, and there is a dog a place for dogs to run, right? So that's fenced in. So if anyone wants to come, we are still asking for donation. If anyone would be interested in donating food, right? Because on Sundays we do like to go out and take a hot meal to our friends in the community. And for Sunday, we do have donations, but again, we just listened to what we needed from donations. So think, anything that you would use when you're out, maybe camping. Again, we are in the more warmer weather time. So if anybody wants to donate any clothing, any items in like that, just keep that in mind. And again, if anyone would like to drop off food or donate any food, please reach out to me or Jared. You're welcome. So then we'll move on and talk about, I'm sorry. So now that we have a little bit of time, because you know what, I did want to talk about our campaign, Language Matters. And I think every single time that we have a meeting and we're going to get into what I hope to eventually develop, right, through our ROSC is our stigma campaign. And I always bring it up and I always seem to say, okay, well, at the next meeting, we'll, cover it more in depth. So at this point, we're already like maybe a few minutes, we have a few more minutes left. But just briefly, I would like to say that for this fiscal year, we are almost finishing the fiscal year. And one of my strategic plans was reducing stigma, right? And so I think I had previously addressed the council about eventually starting some type of maybe a social media campaign, right? But again, we want everyone's help. So it would be very important if together, eventually, if anyone has time and is willing to volunteer, maybe, or even just jot a few things down and email it to me. And maybe we could talk about different ideas on how to create this stigma campaign, right? Oh, thank you, Tina. I love you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. But yes, and really, I think I think it was like last month or 2 months ago, I sat on a panel and I got it was on stigma reduction and someone shared a document with me and they were just switching words and it just opened my eyes and there was a few things, even me myself, I was like, wait a minute. I can't believe that, sometimes I myself will use some of these words, right? And just like really quickly and briefly, things like words that were swapped instead of like addict, they would say a person with substance conditions, right? But this one was the one that got me. The one of instead of saying like clean or dirty, when people, go and take a test or something, it's nicer to say, negative or positive. And instead of saying abuse, saying misuse. So, simple little things like that. And I felt like just those few examples were so powerful. And I'm like, well, yeah, language does matter, right? This is how we communicate. And, words are very powerful. Words are so powerful. So just like certain words stigmatize us, we need to use that kind of idea and, flip it, right? Use those words to stop stigmatizing ourselves, right? So again, I would like to invite everyone and people on Zoom and to please share any information or anything that comes, any ideas. And again, you don't have to, we don't have to have like a working group. Nobody wants more work, right? You could just email me and say, hey, maybe you should do a campaign holding up signs, or maybe you should take, maybe you should go around and maybe do like a really quick, video with someone and asking just a simple question like, what word do you feel like is very stigmatizing? And, simple things like that. So I'm really excited to hear from everyone. And so I invite everyone to join me, right? And so if anyone has any ideas, please feel free to email me or email Jared. And so now I just want to really quickly just be very reflective with you guys and share the resource. I wanted to finish again, focusing that May is Mental Health Month, but I also wanted to highlight our friends from the Kane County Health Department. I know that this year they offered 2 free webinars. The other day, I think it was on Monday, right, Tina? We had an amazing. Was everybody on there, right? You ladies? Oh man, it was amazing, right? An amazing training. And I was just like, what? And it was on gambling. And I just want you guys to know that just in Illinois, we have 49,000 slot machines. Am I correct, ladies? All right. And there's more coming. So please, I don't know if there'll be a recording of it.
It was recorded and sent out to attendees, but we can send it out to this group too. There's a link on our website. So if you go to canehealth.com to programs and services and then health matters, educational events, there's a link there, but I'll send it a link too.
Amazing. And that presenter, oh my Lord. So he was very engaging, very informative. He did open up my eyes. One thing that he did speak about is the prevalence of a gambling addiction. So we do have to be mindful. It's very easy to access. I think we just spoke with Tina. She said one of the biggest things now is technology, right? So people are finding different ways of using technology to do different things, right? And misuse, right? So it's not only from DV, domestic violence. Now we're seeing also people gambling and other types of misuse. So please keep in mind that this is coming down the pipe. And, you know, again, Illinois has 49,000, right? Slot machines, and there's more coming. So thank you for that presentation. They're also going to be having a presentation this Friday, am I right? Is it this Friday, May the 29th? Yes, and that is from 9 to 11 a.m. They're having an overview of aging and aging service mental health challenges that don't stop at 65. So if you work with older adults or caregivers, please register because it is very important. I feel like we do focus on a lot of things, but we really don't focus on talking about our seniors too much. And our seniors really, really, really are the ones who are most needed from these kind of services, just because of the generational gap, right? And we were talking about gaps already. So again, thank you for that, Tina. And also, we have them in the house. I'm so excited because I didn't know they were going to make their own little, how would I say, debut here. But when I got here, I did see some of them posted in the front of Mutual Ground. And I was like, go Mutual Ground for representing. But we have them here in the house. If anyone's interested, please let me know because I have space in my car. I'll take some for you back. But we have 988 yard signs. Again, it is Mental Health Month, and we know how important it is. So posting these 988 yard signs really really focuses on the awareness and really, brings out the information to the public. So if anyone's interested in one of the 988 yard signs, please raise up your digital Zoom hand, and you can request one here. We'll be more than happy to take it with us. And if anyone here wants one, you can take them. So again, thank you so much for bringing those along. So now I want to leave you guys before we end our meeting. I think we have like 2 more minutes, right? I just wanted to leave you guys with these 2 questions for you guys to take with you home and think about. Question number 1, what is the single biggest gap for people with both substance misuse condition disorder and a mental health condition disorder here in King County? And number 2, what is one small action that our ROSC Council could take in the next 60 to 90 days to start closing this gap besides the media campaign? Okay, so you guys can jot things down and feel free to email me. Feel free to leave a piece of paper here with the information. Me and my team will take it back and we will greatly appreciate it. So do we have any questions, any remarks from anyone out there in Zoom? Very quickly, I'm going to go through our announcements. Can we share the flyers, ladies? the last flyers. Thank you. Does anybody here have any announcements? Anyone that wants to share any announcements?
We put together some transportation resources for Kane County, and I have lots of postcards. People who are here can take them, as many as you'd like, and then also take the 988 signs. But we also have them available at both our Elgin and Aurora offices too. So we can help folks out with these postcards, which is just a QR code that leads to our website that has all kinds of free and low cost transportation options.
That is one of our biggest barriers. So thank you so much for that resource. I'm going to make sure I take those with me back. So again, I want to thank everybody. I want to respect everyone's time. We are at the 4 o'clock mark. Again, we are always looking for free harm. If you're looking for free harm reduction materials, please come see us at the drop-in service on Tuesdays. That's at 825 West State Street. We are there from 12 to 2. And we have our reentry fellowship program, again, on Tuesdays from 12 to 2, bilingual services for men and women, but also on Thursdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Please come and see us at our Geneva office. And virtual Narcan training. Again, this is from 12 to 2. Actually, it's at 12:30, the second Tuesday of every month through our Geneva office again. Thank you. And our friends out at our friends at the library are holding, from Westside Justice Center, are holding an expungement workshop. So if anyone you know, any clients need this service, please let them know. This is going to be held Saturday, May 23rd from 10 to 2 p.m. at the Santori Library. And with that said, I want to say thank you to everyone that showed up. Thank you to everyone online. And this meeting is adjourned. Have a great afternoon. We will see you at our next month's meeting. Emails will go out with the invitations. And everyone enjoy your long holiday weekend. And please remember to make sure to be intentional about taking that mental health break and giving yourself that wellness gift. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Annette. Everybody, have a
Ben.
wonderful day. That's great.
Good to see you, Ben. I'll see you soon. You're coming next time, right? You're coming to our next.
I'm coming. Yeah. If you let